Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we are doing CVT fluid on a 2016 Crosstrek. This baby's got, what do we got here? 238,000 miles. This is a coworker of mine's daughter's car, and she's just going through some routine maintenance and asked if I would do the CVT fluid for her. So going ahead and I'm going to show you how to take care of this. All right, first things first, we want to get the car level as possible. I have ramps that I put on the front and then jack stands on the rear. And then I also use my jack on the rear diff just for some additional support. Could never be too safe. So I know that it's level. I actually use a level that I put on the side of the car to verify if it's level. And I was extremely close when I maxed out the jack, so I'm barely off of level, but it's not going to be detrimental to the fluid level at all. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, we are officially under the car. There's a few tools that you're going to need when you knock this out. So first tool, you're going to need an Allen fitting, because this, my hand's in the way, that is your fill plug right there. That is a hex, that's an Allen H8, so it's an 8mm. That is your fill. This is on the driver's side of the rear of the transmission, next to two sensors. Very easy to get to. I did not have to take anything off. Obviously there is your pan with your drain plug. So I've already broke these loose just because I decided to make a video after I already started. But basically, always break your fill first. That way, if you cannot get that open for whatever reason, or if you strip it, you haven't already drained the fluid, because then you're screwed. So always start with the drain. If the drain can come out, then you're good to go. After that, you're going to want to do the drain plug. Now, keep in mind, CVTs, whenever the engine is not running, the transmission pump is not operating. So fluid level is actually higher than the fill port. So if I pulled that plug, it's going to start pouring out. I don't want to make a big mess, so I'm going to do all of my draining through the actual drain plug here. All right, we'll go ahead and let that get to work. Yeah, it's pretty gross, but I'm pretty sure this vehicle has actually already been done once before, which is good. Heck, with the mileage, it doesn't surprise me that they've already had it done. But yeah, everything came off real nice. They did kind of knurl up this Allen fitting, but I was able to hammer it on. I don't know if you saw the hammer over here. It's over here somewhere. But I had to hammer it in, but it was no issue to get it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this drain, and I'll be back in just a second. All right, so while that is draining, we'll go ahead and cover your drain plug. So they do come with a crush washer. I always buy these in bulk. These are just a generic knockoff made in China that are replicas for the Subaru that I got on Amazon. I got like a 20 pack, 16 pack on this one. Definitely much cheaper to buy everything in bulk, and it's the same drain. I'm sorry, it's the exact same crush washer as the engine oil drain plug. So between doing oil changes and stuff like this for friends, as well as my wife's car, I go through these pretty quick. So I always keep these on hand. There's a flat side and a rounded side. They don't really tell you that there's a correct orientation, but I always put the flat side down, so that way the rounded side goes up to the transmission, and that's going to be what crunches and crushes to make your perfect seal. So definitely you want to make sure you always replace these. I've never had one not leak, so it took me 1 or 2 times of reusing these to realize that they're cheap. Just buy them, get them replaced so you don't have to worry about anything. All right, we are back with our drain plug, which I need to get focused here. I guess it doesn't matter. It's got the crush washer on it. Just believe me, you can see it there. And this is just dribbling, so we're good to go ahead and put this back in. This, I always use a torque wrench on it, especially since it's not my car. But I will be torquing this to 23 pound-feet. I believe the actual spec is 22.9 after the Newton meter conversion, but 23 should be perfect for you. So we'll go ahead and get this started. Get our hands a little dirty, because why not? Try to move around and do this real time with one hand, because that's what badasses do. And we will torque. Torque wrenches too I like, because these crush washers always feel weird when they start to crush and then they get loose again. It almost feels like you're cross-threading or stripping it, and then they get tight. There we go. And that is torqued. Easy peasy. I'll hit that with some brake clean, because I can't stand when people don't clean up their mess. And then we'll come over here and start the fill process. All right, we'll go ahead and cover the fluid and get this ready to go here. We'll talk a little bit about fluid, because this can be quite a controversial topic, for good reason, I guess. I mean, a lot of people want to protect their investment. They don't want to cause any issues with their car. So this specific individual really just wanted the OEM fluid back in. I'm never going to tell someone not to use an OEM fluid. It's specifically designed for that vehicle. It makes sense, and you can never go wrong doing that. With that said, there are a lot of other products that you can theoretically use, and I know the comment section is going to scold me for that, because everyone apparently is a oil geek, and they know apparently the chemistry and science behind how everything works. The fact of the matter is, Valvoline, AMSOIL, Mobil 1, Demisu, if that's how you pronounce it, they all make a product that is compatible and recommended for your vehicle. I have personally used AMSOIL in multiple different types of CVTs, whether it's Subaru and Nissan, and I had nothing but great results. I am an AMSOIL dealer. I have no problem using that product. I know individuals who work for AMSOIL, and it is a 100% legit product that you would have no concerns using. But I understand if people want to stay OEM, and I'll never tell them not to do so. So this specific vehicle being a 2016, the TR580 CVT, takes CVT F2 for this generation. So that's what we're going to use. From my history with these, I want to say they take about 3.5 to 4 quarts to do the initial fill. That's with engine off. And then you're going to start getting overflow out of that overflow fill port. When that happens, you just put the plug back in loosely, start the car, and get it warm, and then you're going to put in the final quarts once you're at your temperature range. I'll walk you through that more once we get closer, but I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about fluid and provide the information that I'm aware of. And so that way you know what products to use and what's safe and what's not safe. All right, this is the pump that we're going to be using. You can get this at pretty much any auto parts store. I got this one at my local Meijer grocery store, actually. They have an automotive section, and it's just a multi-use transfer pump, and it actually works pretty quick. It doesn't take you very long to get through a full quart. So whatever type of pump you want to choose will work perfectly fine. This is the one that I'm going with, and it's going to be messy regardless, especially when you have to swap bottles and stuff like that. So just wear gloves, prepare to get a little dirty. All right, so we're back under here. We've already tightened, cleaned the drain plug. I want to go ahead and keep my drain pan underneath, because this is going to get a little messy, whether you mean to or not. Now we're going to come over and take off the fill plug. This does have a crush ring that comes on it. I don't have a replacement one. I've reused these in the past, and I don't have any issues with reusing them. This is a flat copper or aluminum washer. They tend to be a little bit more forgiving with reusal, or with reusing. Reusal. But you can pick those up at your closest Subaru dealer, or you can just reuse it. Again, I don't have any issues reusing them. Not that type. The drain plug type, 100% replace it, just to make sure you don't have any leaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this pump set up, and we'll get a photo of what it looks like, and I'll let you know once we get ready to start the engine and do the second pump. All right, so just so everyone can see, we have a pretty steady drip coming out on the bottom of the transmission. So if I pull this hose back a little bit, it's coming out pretty good, right? So, safe to say we are full until, let me put this back. Bottle here, just a crazy large mess, like more than I've already made. So we're as full as we can get right now. I've done 1, 2, 3.5 quarts, and it's dripping out pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and just hand tighten this just to prevent a bunch of fluid loss. Nothing crazy. I'm not even gonna make it tight. I'm just gonna let it sit like that. We're gonna go ahead and start it up, and this is when we need to heat up the vehicle to get the proper level. All right, we're going to be using my AutoFix D1 Lite for this check. This is actually a really good, inexpensive service tool. I think I spent just under $400. Comes with a Bluetooth OBD dongle, and it works fantastic. So we'll go ahead and get started here. It automatically senses the car. So we'll hit OK and let it start up and do its thing. So what we want to do here is we want to monitor we want to monitor CVT temperature because fluid expands as it gets hotter. So the CVT needs to be at a very specific temperature range, and then we attempt to refill and have it come out the fill port one more time. When I'm talking about the temperature, as you read line item number 7, idle the engine and raise the CVT temperature to 35 through 45 C, which is 95 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what we are wanting to monitor on our tool. So we'll go here to diagnostics, we'll choose our control unit, which is the transmission, and we're just gonna look at live data. There's a little battery charging emblem there, which is nice, lets you know the alternator is working. Sorry, I really need a thing to hold my phone so it doesn't shake. There you go, live data. And we're just gonna go ahead and do all. CVT temperature is usually normally high up. Yep. ATF temp, it's at 66.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So we do have about 40 degrees, right? Yeah, 95 through 113. So we have a little bit of time here. We're gonna let the engine warm up, and I'll just keep an eye on that temperature as it rises, and then once it hits that 95, I'll get back under there and finish the fill process. Hey, it's no longer high idling, so you can actually hear me again. All right, we are ready to fill it up. It is 45 to 50 degrees in my garage. We are currently at 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and the car has been running for 15 minutes. So in case people don't have this tool, you could theoretically use a general rule that after about 15 minutes of idling from a cold start in lower ambient temperatures, you can achieve the temperature range that you're looking for. Obviously this tool is ideal, but just as a reference, I'm not saying that's the gospel, it's just a reference for you to consider. So the temp takes a minute to heat up. I have up to 113 degrees before I'm out of the temperature range. So I'm gonna go ahead and start filling this back up the exact same way that I've been doing up to this point. All right, we got a nice little stream coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fill plug back in and torque it down to 37 pound-feet. Oh, it looks like it just went away. For reference, the engine idled for 22 minutes and hit 104 degree CVT temp. So again, just another reference. But we went ahead and got the torque wrench on here, got it torqued back down to 37 pound-feet like I said. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with some brake clean, and at that point you are done with the actual service, and then I will show you what to do inside of the car after that. Alrighty, so we have completed the fluid fill up. So now what you want to do is you actually want to cycle through the gears of your car just to make sure that all the systems within your CVT, all of your hydraulic lines and everything are fully pressurized, and that you get fresh fluid through everything. So you just want to cycle through everything. I do it a couple times, and then you should be good to go. Alright, so you want to start in park and put on the brake and just go through everything and make sure it's nice and smooth. Alright. Just do it a few times. Sorry about the little bit of a mess here. Again, not my car. I just work here. All right, she's nice and smooth. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I will go ahead and leave a link to my preferred customer program as well for AMSOIL. Since we talked about that a little bit earlier, so that'll be in my description. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, or if anything that I missed, please put it in the comments. I'll be happy to discuss anything with you all, and I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. So take care, and have a good one, everyone.